I got a little project here that I want to work on. We're gonna throw this in some SNS, and what I'd like to do is the gearbox shaft right here that I've got some video on. If you haven't seen it, check it out. This shaft is finished, but what I want to do is go ahead and make some keys for it, for the keyways. We have 3 total. We have this one here, which is a 5/8 wide key, and we have 2 down here, 180 out, that are 1/2 inch wide keys. So I'm going to, instead of just milling them, or I'm sorry, just cutting them square and put them in there, I'm actually going to mill radiuses on the ends of the keys so that they fit in there and they look good, and it'll provide a nice little bit of content here for the channel. And there's a couple things that we're gonna use. I've got these corner rounds right here, and if you've never seen these before, there's a corner rounding end mill, and they come in all different sizes. So this one right here is going to be a 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch radius, which will be the radius required to cut this 1/2 inch key here on the ends. All right, and then this other one is a 5/16. This is the old Brown and Sharp right here. So that's a 5/16, and that one's going to be used to mill this 5/8 key right here. And that's just that's the container there with all my corner rounds. You can see they come in many different sizes. I've got a whole bucket of them there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to mill them. We're going to mill them to length and get them the right length to fit the key. And then we're going to set the corner round in there, and we're going to round both corners on each end. All right, so we're going to use a new tool to do this, and we're going to be using the Edge Technology Vise Jaw Stop. What this is a handy, nifty little tool that will clamp onto your vise jaw and provide you a positive stop whenever you want to repeat parts. So in this case, we're going to be using these keys right here, and we're going to slide them in and mill it. So this will provide a nice little easy stop that'll be out of the way, that I can slide these up to and do all of our milling. So that's the thing there. That's the jaw stop, and I'll just show you this right here. Kind of gives you a good picture before we pull it out and hook it up on how it actually works right there. So they've got it to where it's out of the way, the rod is out of the way, so you can get right up close to it to do your milling, and it just clamps right on the top of the jaw there. So we're going to check that out for the first time and see how she does. Alright, so we'll get over there to the milling machine and get busy. Alright, so there's our vise stop. So you can adjust this to fit different size jaws, and all it does is just clamp on just like so. And you use a 5/32 Allen wrench to tighten it up on the jaw, and then you use a 5/64 to move the rod where you want it. So we're going to do like this. We're going to have our block sitting in here about like so. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put it right there. Alright, and then if you wanted to adjust the rod a little bit, you just loosen these other 2 set screws, and you can move that rod where you want. Snug it back up. Okay, so we got a nice little positive low profile stop. So if you wanted to, you can run across all the way up next to the stop right here, and the rod is not in the way to interfere. So now we can just slide our part in, clamp it in, and now we have a positive stop there to bring our parts into to repeat. So our 2 1/2-inch keys, I cut them about a 1/16 of an inch long, just roughly 1/16. We're going to finish them at 1 1/8, which is 1 inch 875, but I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter than that so that they're not too tight. I've got the keyways milled about 1.880, so we'll make them at least 10 thousandths under that. And the 5/8 key, we're going to do that too, but as you can see, this mill stop won't work for this long key right here because it's going to be across the whole width. So we're going to use a different mill stop for that one. We're going to pull out Collins. We're going to pull out the Colin Chapette mill stop to do this one, which will be mounted over here on the actual mill table. So we'll get to this one after we finish the 1/2-inch keys. This one we've actually got to deck it a little bit as well. We got to bring it down in thickness. The 1/2-inch keys are the same. All right, I'm going to speed that up. I'm using a carbide end mill, a 4-flute 1/2-inch carbide end mill. All right, that should give us, yeah, it's going to give us plenty of metal to clean up right there. So what I'm going to do, I don't like climb milling on these conventional machines. I'll show you. We'll just go ahead and move it out of the way. All right, we're going to slide that one out. And that one I got to deburr. Okay, see the edge? So I'm going to have to deburr that. We'll go ahead and slide that one in. All right. I didn't quite clean that one up, but you know, that really doesn't matter because that's probably going to get cut off anyway. All right, so deburr these. We'll go right back into it. I'm going to go ahead and move in another 25 thousandths. And even though I can actually measure it right there, everything's kind of in the way, so I'm just going to go ahead and slide this out. We're going to use our Shars calipers here. We've been testing them out still. All right, so we're at 895. I want to go 865, so let's take another 30. And we'll take it out and measure it and see if we hit our mark. All right, so 30, 10, 20, 30. All right, let's see if we're at 965. I think we made it. Awesome. Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll just make this one all in one cut. Make sure ain't no chips there. All right, about 1 thousandths under on that one. Okay, I'd say that's good. Just need a deburr, and we'll start setting up to do the corner rounds on them. So I've got the 1/4 inch radius tool set up in the collet, and I'm going to go ahead and get it adjusted. And once I get that thing adjusted, I'll have a 0 set on the x-axis there, and I'll know where to come back into to repeat on all the other cuts there. It'll help if you put it in gear. I'm just going to do all this by sight. Just getting my Z set now. It's pretty close to where I want it to be, right there on the Z. I think I want to go ahead and speed this thing up. 325 on the belt there. Usually you run these corner rounds a little slower than usually what you run an end mill. You don't want to burn them up. It's a little more costly than just a regular end mill. I'm just looking at the bottom over here. It's just about near the bottom of the radius there. All right, and the top still needs the part needs to come up just a touch. It's not quite there yet. All right, I think that'll put us right about where we need to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set a 0 down here on the X handle. I'll know where to come back into. And let me deburr this real quick, and we'll stick it back in there and finish the other side. All right, we got it deburred. That looks like a pretty good radius there. Just about well blended in. So we're going to flip it over to the other side. Tighten the vise up. All right, so I got a 0 set. I'm going to go ahead and back off. That's 1 revolution. Let's go ahead and go 2. Clear it. If I had digital readout, this would be a lot easier. So I'm just having to count numbers here. Right. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let me deburr this one, and we'll stick it in there and do the other end. All right, lucky for me, that rod on this stop right here, it looks like it's just dead in the center of that. So that's going to work out in my favor of bringing it back to where I wanted it there on the 0. I think we should be within a few thousandths of being the same. So we'll go ahead and repeat what we're doing. I may have to adjust it just a few thou. I'm going to go ahead and back off again. 2 turns on the dial. All right, pretty close. I'm going to have to go another 5 on this and see Yeah, that looks a little better right there. I did an extra 5 thou and it looks like it brought it right up to the center. Okay. All right, looks like we blended good there. All right, so there's one of the keys right there, or keyways. This is the one that I just milled. Got just a little clearance in there so we didn't have to worry about it binding up. All right. Okay, so one down. Let me go ahead and get the other one done. I'm gonna do that off camera and then we'll go ahead and finish the 5/8 key. All right, I just finished the other key. Okay. All right, both those are gonna work. So now we'll go ahead and focus on the key for this end right here, 5/8. So here's one of the original keys right there, and you can see it's got a lot of wear on it. It's got a lot of rock, you know, where it was rocking back and forth. Because it is a driving key. This is a slip fit through the gearbox. It slides down through there, and this key is in there, and you can see how much wear is in it right there. So this is what we're duplicating. So we want a 1/4 inch deep on this one. So what we're going to do is that we're going to mill 1/8 of an inch off the top of one side there to make it a 5/8 by half key. And then once we do that, we'll radius the ends just like we did on the 1/2 inch keys here. So the first thing we'll do is mill it down. We just got to take 1/8 of an inch off of it. Just going to give it a quick mic right here and see. All right, so we're about 3 under already. We're going to take it down to 1/2 inch. That's not a critical measurement at all, but we'll try to just hit it at 1/2 inch. I'm going to use this cutter for the first time, and I don't even recall where I got this. I forgot I had it over there, but it's a 1 inch indexable end mill. It takes a couple of those little TPG style inserts, but it's got a little flat ground on it on the cutting edge, and it's got an integrated R8 shank. So it's just one solid piece that's machined to accept those inserts. And we're going to give it a try here. Got the mill set at 1115 RPM. So that sounds like a good speed to try. Let's see how she does. Let's try half of it and then we'll take the other half. So I'm going to go up about 60. Okay, it did pretty good. It's got a little bit of a drag there, but it's got a smooth feel to it. All right, so we need 62. So basically exactly a 1/16 of an inch. All right, we'll just go 62 and let it rip. Okay, this side's about a half over half inch, so we did pretty good. So we're gonna clean this up and we'll set up our stop. So we got our part in there, and this is the stop that I'm gonna use on this side right here. This is the one that was made by Colin Chapette and given to me. So it's a multi-axis stop. You can position it any way you want. It's got a nice range of movement. I'm going to go ahead and snug it there, but I want to bring this up so you can loosen this one, and you have another axis here that pivots, and you can move the rod back. We're going to move it back a little bit like that. I'm going to try to get it about in the middle there. Okay, I think that'll work right there. Slide our part over to it, tighten it up. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mill this one to 7 inches, give it a few thousandths clearance, and then we'll radius the ends. So I cut this a little bit long. All right, looks like we've got about 40 to 45 thousandths to come off. Let's see what we got. Huh, only about 10 left. I don't know what I did there. Boy, that's 7 inches right there. All right, let's go ahead and give it some clearance. All right, we'll try this a little climb cut, 10 thousandths, see what it does. All right, not bad. I'm just getting her blended in by hand. Just making these light cuts, and we're just about where we want it. Maybe 5 thousandths. I'm going to go ahead and set a 0 here. think that'll work right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it back across. I'm going to back out of it 20 thousandths. It's just about blended right there. I left it 5,000 shy. I think that'll work right there. I'm gonna leave it like it is, and we're gonna take it out. I'll deburr it and we'll do the other side. All right, I think she's ready. Just need to do some deburring and we'll go fit it. All right, so there's our new key that we just finished up. It's our 5/8 by half key, and all of our radiuses look pretty nice on the ends. They blended together real well. Okay, fits in there just like it should. We got just a few thou clearance and that'll work. So the reason it's actually loose, the reason all these are a little loose, I milled these right on size. I mean, they're right there where they need to be. I just mic'd this one, this key right here, and it's 3 thousandths under. That's why it's fitting in there kind of loose. And the half-inch keys are the same way. They're a couple thousandths small. But this is done now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape these keys to this shaft, and I'm going to spray it down with some rust inhibitor so it won't rust. And hopefully this will go to its rightful owner here pretty soon. So there's our mill stop that we used, our Vise mill stop. And there's going to be a limited time promotion discount code for 10% off the purchase at Edge Technology whenever I air this video. So I'm going to have that in the video description down below, so check that out. And it'll be a promo code for 10% off any purchase there on their website. And just keep in mind, it is a limited time, so depending on when you're watching this video, it may not be active anymore. All right, but I actually like this. This is a nice little tool, and I look forward to having this and using in the future.